together just like this, okay? So for the rest of all next week, make sure you just come in here, find a seat so we can get started, okay? We've got a lot of stuff to do. We are going to be learning about some different types of figurative language, okay? So what is figurative language? You can tell me what figurative language is. Aiden?
It's not literal, but it's kind of like a figure of speech.
Okay, good. That's absolutely perfect. So figurative language, it's not actually what you mean, but it's a literary device you use, and you can use it in writing to make your writing better. Okay? So, who knows what a metaphor is? Who has heard of a metaphor? What's your name?
Leslie.
Leslie. What's a metaphor?
It's like something you say to mean something else.
Okay. Who can give me a more specific definition? What's your name?
My name's Carson.
What, say it again.
Carson.
Carson, okay.
Like, for example, kick the bucket. It's not actually happening, but it stands for, like, dying.
Okay. Kick the bucket would be more of something else. What did you all learn with Miss Davenport? What's that figure of speech you learned with her? An idiom? Idiom, good. Okay. So, anyone else have an idea what a metaphor is? Brad?
A metaphor is like meaning something like the grass is green on the outside, it's going to be better soon. Like it's probably not, maybe.
Okay. Grass is green on the side is a figure of speech, figurative language. But a metaphor is something that compares two unlike things. Okay? So an example would be if I was looking at the sunset and it was just beautiful. It's all these orange and red and yellow colors. And I was telling my friend about it and I would say, wow, that sunset was a huge orange ball in the sky. Was the sunset actually a huge orange ball in the sky? No. But it kind of tells you what it looked like, right? Caden?
So, like, would a figure of speech like be like killing two birds with one stone?
That's a figure of speech, yes. But today, specifically, we're talking about metaphors. Capiche? Okay, so who thinks they can come up with another example of a metaphor? Nobody? Dalton? On top of the world, kind of. Let's compare this desk. Let's compare this desk to something. So you could say, this desk was sitting there. Hold on, that's not a good example. You want to tell me what, Colin?
You know, like when you use paper or something, you say, did it grow legs?
Kind of. Okay, let's say you have a new puppy and it is super wild. And it's just running around everywhere and you say, that puppy was a firecracker. That puppy a firecracker? Is it really? No, but what does that kind of tell you what the puppy was doing?
Really wild.
Okay, good. Caden?
We have one like that.
Okay. Another one would be, let's say your little brother was really sleepy. And you could say,
He's
yeah.
as tired as a
We can't use the word as. We're just saying something was. My little brother was a hibernating bear. Is your little brother a hibernating bear? No. But what is a hibernating bear? What are they doing?
Sleeping.
Sleeping. So your little brother was sleeping for a long time. Carson?
My cat, it's really fluffy and he's got orange fur and sometimes we call him a baby lion.
Okay, so she has an orange fluffy cat. That's perfect. So she could say, my cat was a lion. My cat was a fluffy lion. Is her cat an actual lion?
No.
Do you think she has a lion running around her house? I hope not. Okay. What about the lamp? Let's say our lamp is really bright, and we could say, the lamp was the sun for our classroom. The lamp was the sun for our classroom. What does that tell you about the lamp?
It's really bright.
Okay. So, who wants to come up with one now? Let's think. Leslie?
Like some people will say, I'm so old I practically have a foot in the grave.
Okay. So if you want to describe your grandpa, you could say, my grandpa was, finish it, someone finish it for me.
200 years old. A dinosaur.
Okay, that's not really a metaphor exactly.
Extinct.
Oh, I know.
Brandon?
My grandpa was so old he had 1 foot in the grave.
Okay, does he actually have his foot in the grave? But you know, is that comparing him though to something?
No.
Okay, so it really wouldn't be a metaphor. So a comparison takes two unlike things and compares them. Okay? Blake? Yes.
Like when someone's like computers old and stuff, like who's a dinosaur?
That is perfect. Blake, stand up and say that.
Say it loud.
That was great.
I heard Dylan say dinosaur. That's how I
Okay.
got the idea.
Well, that's okay. Tell us what you just said.
The computer's a dinosaur.
Okay? So what would that tell you about the computer? Is it a new Mac, laptop?
No.
It's an old Roblox.
What does it look like then?
Roblox?
It's kind of like it's not like very thin like a standard computer, but it's kind of like it kind of looks like it has a box on the back. Kind of.
Okay. And so normally a computer and a dinosaur don't really have that much in common, do they?
No.
But they're two unlike things and you're comparing them. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today I have a bag full of rattlesnakes for you.
Really?
No.
Yes.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, I do it.
Okay.
Gummy rattlesnakes.
They're not actual rattlesnakes. They're actually gummy worms. Okay, give me 5. If y'all can't handle it, we won't do it. Okay? So, I'm going to give each of you all a gummy worm. When I give you your gummy worm, pretend it's a rattlesnake, okay? Write some observations about it. What does your rattlesnake look like? What does your rattlesnake feel like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? So write some observations. Just make a list of things about your rattlesnake. Capiche? That's all you're doing. You're not eating it yet. Okay? But if you all can't handle this, then I'll just take all the gummy worms up and throw them away. So you gonna do what you're supposed to? Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna pass these out. What level should I expect my friends to be? This is why you have your notebook paper out. Oh, if you're talking, move your clip.
Thank you, Dalton, for being honest.
Someone bring me another bag. Get started as soon as you get your rattlesnake. Colin, move your clip.
How does it make you feel? What does it look like?
You will use your 5 senses to describe the rattlesnake. Okay? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Smell like? Sound like? Taste? Not yet.
Mm-hmm. Guys, work independently. Okay, Miss Pippin's friends need to go. If you're in Miss Pippin's class, you need to go, please.
Okay, guys, give me 5. Look up here. Okay, so I saw that Hannah wrote on one of her observations that her rattlesnake is very long. Okay? So, what I want to do with your all's observations now is I want you all to turn a few of them into metaphors. Okay? So, let's take Hannah's observation that her rattlesnake is long. My metaphor would be, my rattlesnake was a garden hose. Because garden hoses are pretty what?
Long.
Okay. Is a rattlesnake actually a garden hose?
No.
Okay. So this is what I want you all to do. I want you all to take 2 of your observations and make them into a metaphor. But here's your stipulation. A metaphor does what? It compares what? 2 unlike things, and it does not use the words like or as. So you cannot say, my rattlesnake was long like a garden hose. You say, my rattlesnake was a garden hose, or is a garden hose. Okay? So turn those into metaphors.
Charity, what you doing, babe? Liberty, she already went.
Okay. Put your head down when you have your two metaphors. Okay, about 30 more seconds. Okay, turn and talk to your partner and tell them your metaphor and why it's a metaphor. Oh, friends. What level do we do turn and talk? 1. That was like a 3. Take it down, please. Okay, give me 5. There are a lot of people in here, so you really have to quiet down. Who wants to share what their partner's metaphor was? Brayden?
Logan he put his rattlesnake was a polished rock since it was so smooth.
Okay. So, did everyone hear what Brayden said? Can you repeat that, Abby? Okay, say it again, Brayden. Say it loud.
My rattlesnake was a polished rock.
Okay, so why is that a metaphor? Who can tell me why that is a good example of a metaphor? Dane?
Because his snake is not really a
Okay, so he's comparing it to a polished rock, and it's not actually like that, right? And what 2 words did he not use? Olivia? Good. Okay, who else wants to share one? Colin? My rattlesnake is a speed bump. Okay, that's pretty good because if you went over it, it would be like a bump, and he's talking about the shape, correct? Okay, yeah, and he's talking about the ridges. It does look like a speed bump. That's awesome. You want to share one? What's your name?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, okay.
She put that hers was sticky, and she said that my rattlesnake is
Is tree sap? That is awesome. Because tree sap is sticky, correct? So, is your rattlesnake actually tree sap?
Nope.
And she didn't use like or as, correct? Okay. You can eat your gummy worm, but still look at me. Okay? Now, I want you all to imagine, so you all are eating your rattlesnake right now, correct? I want you all to imagine, 1 second, that you are walking along one day in the Amazon rainforest, and this huge snake comes out of nowhere, and it eats you.
Oh no.
Okay? So here's what I want you to do. I'm waiting. Here's what I want you to do. I want you all to write 3 to 4 sentences. Write me a good paragraph, okay? So at least 4. About how it would feel to be eaten by a snake. And you must use 2 metaphors. Capiche? Okay, get to it. Yes, Kate. Okay, what is it? Limes and lemons, and why'd you say that? That's very good. That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are doing great. Thank you for your hard work. Okay. Aiden, do you want to share yours?
To be jumped on and eaten by a snake would be very startling. The stomach of the snake is a sewer, and the teeth of the snake were daggers. I would hate it.
Okay. So what are your two metaphors, Aiden?
The teeth were
Tell me
daggers.
one first.
The teeth were daggers.
The teeth were daggers. Who wants to tell me why Aiden did a great job with that metaphor? You're all right?
Because he didn't use like or as, and he was comparing to unlike things.
Okay, so what was he comparing? What's your name? Logan. Okay.
Sharp knife with a dagger, and then his teeth.
Okay. So his teeth weren't actually. Do you see a rattlesnake that has knives for teeth?
No.
No. Good job. Okay, what was your other one, Aiden?
The stomach of the snake is a sewer.
Okay. So what is he comparing? Dalton?
Stomach of the snake to a sewer.
Okay. And why is that another great example of a metaphor? Carson?
He didn't use like or as, and he was comparing to unlike.
Good. So if you were in the stomach of a snake, is it actual sewer? Is it toilet paper and just gross up in there?
It's slimy.
No. But it's what, Aiden? Kind of sticky, and what does it smell like?
Stinky.
Stinky.
Really, really
Okay.
bad.
Who else wants to share? Dane, you want to share? You're scratching your eye. Okay, what's your name, bud? Elijah. Do you want to share?
If I were eaten by a rattlesnake, I would be in a worm. I would be on a big slide. I would not be pleased with the rattlesnake. I would probably eat it. This is what would happen if I was eaten by a rattlesnake.
Okay, what was that slide one you said? I like that one a lot. Tell me that sentence again.
I would be on a big slide.
I would be on a big slide. How is that comparing? So he's comparing a slide to what?
Snake's
Snake's throat. Okay. And so why is that a good metaphor?
Long and small.
He didn't use like or as, and he was comparing to
Okay, good. So if you were in an actual snake, there's not a slide kind of like on your playground, is it? No. But that tells me that my snake, he was kind of looking up and he was going down the throat really fast. That's what you do when you go down a slide, right? So that makes me feel like I'm actually going down the snake's throat because he told me that that's what it would be like, right? Good job. One more. We have time for one more to share. Mm-hmm.
If I were eating a snake, I would be a piece of pizza, and it would feel weird to be the food. I would
Okay.
try to escape, but I would just pop back in, and it would be very close.
Okay. So he said, I would be a piece of pizza. That's good. So what's he comparing this time? Emma?
Being eaten by a snake.
Okay. So he's comparing himself to the piece of pizza, right? So to him, or to a snake, you look like a piece of pizza. Is he actually a piece of pizza? Does he have pepperoni and sausage and cheese? No. But to a snake, that's what he's saying he looks like. Correct? Dan, you want to share one?
I was just going to say, it's kind of weird that he said that, and we had pizza.
No, that is funny. Okay, so let's wrap it up. What was the main point of today? What's my main point, Elizabeth? Metaphor. And what is a metaphor? Dane? Or Dylan, sorry.
A figure of speech.
Okay, and what does it do? Abby?
Compares to and
And it doesn't use what? Leah?
like
How does it make your writing better if you used a metaphor in your writing? Daryl Ray?
It would draw the reader in, and it would possibly interest the reader.
That is awesome. Say that again, Daryl Ray.
It would draw your reader in, or possibly interest the reader.
Okay, good. So it's a lot more interesting to say, what was one of yours? The stomach snake was a sewer?
Yeah.
It's a lot more interesting to say the stomach snake was a sewer instead of the snake of a stomach is disgusting and stinky and wet. What's more interesting? What's better?
It's a snake of a snake.
Okay, you know what Got it? Okay. Thank you all so much for your attention today. I was a little bit nervous about this big group, but you all proved to me that you all can handle it. So I guess we'll get to do more fun stuff next week. Okay? If you all will bring me your paper, make sure your name is on it, and then you may line up.